Howdy guys, thank you for watching. I want to talk today about care for your carry ammunition. I want to tell you all a story back in, I believe it was like 2011 or 2012. There was a well-documented case in Georgia from a police department of an OIS officer-involved shooting where the officer attempted to fire his first round. He had a failure to fire. He did mitigate and clear that malfunction and was able to stop the threat. The police department was extremely upset that their law enforcement only premium training ammunition had failed, and so they sent that round up to the manufacturer to have them inspect. What the manufacturer found out is that you got to understand how bullets are put together. We've got our bullet, casing, powder, and then the primer. The primer is typically, it has some compound and a sealant in there that when it's hit by your firing pin or your striker, it creates a small explosion which lights your powder and then pushes your projectile out. Nonetheless, that primer, that compound, is probably the most fragile aspect of that round. And what the manufacturer found out, and they confirmed after talking with the officer, they found out that primer had basically disintegrated. That primer compound had disintegrated. One of the things that they asked the officer, hey, what do you do every night before you go to the bed? Well, the officer said, well, typically I take my gun, take my mag out, and then rack a round out. And I take that same round, and the next morning I put it back in the gun and go to work. So I don't know how many times that officer had been putting that same round in his firearm, but you can assume that it had taken quite a beating. So why am I telling you this? Well, some information that had been relayed to me about proper care from Mr. Tom Gibbons was essentially this: do not load the same defensive round in your pistol any more than 2 times. Why is that? Well, every time you insert or you load a round, this is some snap caps, some dummy rounds, you load a round into your firearm, that cartridge is basically taking 4 impacts or 4 beatings. So we insert it into the mag well. The first impact's coming from the slide, stripping the round off of the magazine. The second impact happens when the tip of the bullet actually hits the bottom of the feed ramp. Number 3 occurs when it hits the top of the barrel, and then number 4 is when it completely goes into the chamber. Once again, you've got the initial impact from the back of the slide hitting the feed ramp, then after it hits the bottom of the feed ramp, hits the top of the barrel, and then goes in. So every time you load a round into your chamber, you're giving it 4 impacts. So taking that same round, loading it no more than 2 times into that gun, it's already gotten 8 impacts, and then if you do that anymore, you're starting to play with fire at that point. So one of the things that I typically do to help preserve my carry ammo is when I go to the range, I take my magazine with my carry ammo out, put my practice ammo in. Whatever's in the chamber, I'll leave it, and I'll just shoot it. That just kind of ensures I've always, every time I insert my magazine with my carry ammo, I've always got a fresh round in there, and then it also ensures that the defensive ammo that I'm using works. So guys, don't be afraid to shoot your carry ammo. We need to know where it impacts at certain distances. We need to know if it cycles reliably in our guns. But nonetheless, just some information, like I said, back from 2011 from that OIS. Every single time you load that cartridge into your gun, it's taking 4 impacts. So good rule of thumb, never take the same cartridge and load it more than twice into your firearm. Appreciate y'all for watching. Be safe, be smart, be skilled. Catch you on the next video.